The border czar, Tom Homan, held a press conference in Minnesota where he met with state and local leaders and law enforcement over the past 48 to 72 hours. Let's go to a quick clip of what he had to say from this morning in Minneapolis. We'll go to Tom Homan. Doesn't look like we have the technical difficulties happening right there. So the border czar, Tom Homan, held a press conference from this morning. Do we have that, guys? All right.
Well, first of all, about the organization and the funding of the attacks on ICE. I'm not going to answer a lot about that because I'm not going to show our hand, but they'll be held accountable. Justice is coming. Again, we got to all remember why the questions we've seen and why we're here. What started this? 4 years of an open border, where millions of people are letting this country unvetted. Remember, let's not forget, for 4 years we were told the border is secure. 4 years we were told the border is secure, and we all knew it wasn't. And I want this to be a positive thing we're doing here today. I also want to remember the politicians are continually attacking us. Where were they the last 4 years when the number of women and children sex trafficking went all-time high? Where were they when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border? Women and children are dying making that journey. Where were they where over 4,000 families making that journey died? Historic record. Where were they? Not a word. Now we're just trying to respond to what happened the last 4 years and keeping this country safe. And we're arresting a lot of public safety threats, take them off the streets, which make this country safer. President Trump promised to make this country safe again, and that's what we're doing. But my 2.5 days up here, we made a lot of progress. I think everybody agrees on the criminal and public safety threats. They agree it's much safer and easier to arrest an alien in a facility than send a whole team out in the field that's going to draw anger, because now we got to send a bunch of people to do something that could have been done by 1 or 2 people.
All right, so we're about 5 minutes out to the top of the hour, Thursday, January 29th. Thanks so much for live streaming in with us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Of course, we'll be getting to President Trump here momentarily as soon as we see that live feed. We'll take you to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. All right, let's do this. Let's go to a few of our sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is all about the emergency kit right here with All Family Pharmacy. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/emergency-kits. and use that RSBN 20 promo code. Now, with flu still spreading, having that kit ready at home can make a real difference. The kit includes commonly used medications to help manage symptoms quickly, like Tamiflu and ibuprofen, nasal sprays, and more. But what really sets All Family Pharmacy apart is the flexibility. The kits aren't one size fits all. You can actually customize your kit and add medications you want to have available, including antibiotics or ivermectin. That's just depending on your needs there. So they also offer the sinus infection kit, the travel emergency kit, and other options designed to help families stay ready instead of scrambling. So ordering is simple. You could choose your kit online. A licensed doctor reviews your request, and once approved, it ships right to your door. And it's all about being prepared instead of panicking. So you can view all available kits and order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/emergency-kits. Use promo code RSBN20 to save 20% today. Also, angelpaste.com out of Spring, Texas. Of course, if you use the RSBN promo code for whatever you purchase there at checkout with Angel Paste, you can get that discount that is there. Last time I checked, it was quite some time ago. I was checking out the site, and obviously got to get familiar with all of our sponsors here. But I think it was 20% off, so it's a pretty good percentage there. Angelpaste.com, great longtime sponsor, patriotic group, and of course hires military veterans. Great sponsor there. Angelpaste.com. As we're about 3 minutes from the top of the hour. Let's go to a few highlights from President Trump's cabinet meeting from earlier today. Let's take a look at that.
It was just announced that the murder rate in our country is the biggest drop ever recorded. It's at the lowest level in 125 years. First in recorded history, it's the lowest in at least 125 years. It's a wonderful thing. And that crime is way down, and one of the reasons was we've taken a lot of bad people and gotten them out of our country. In some cases, they're so bad that we put them in prison because we don't want them to even take a chance of coming back in, even though our border is very secure, record-setting secure. We had 0 illegal aliens being admitted into our country for the last 8 months. That's hard for even me to believe, but the people that make up the lists are supposedly nonpartisan, but I would say they lean toward the Democrat side. And if they say that, I'm all for it. But after 1 year, growth in real incomes is outpacing inflation by more than 3,000 under Trump. So one costs 34,000 and 1,000. That's a big swing. Gasoline has plunged to, think of this, over $4 a gallon, depending on where you are. In California, it's $7, $8 a gallon. While I was in Iowa, and they had $1.85, because I had it at $1.99 a gallon. And I was corrected by 2 farmers that said, I just bought my gasoline for $1.85. So, Chris, you have to be doing something right, you and Doug, right? And the people of Venezuela were literally in the streets waving American flags. They were so happy. And the people in our country, like in the Doral section of Miami, which is considered Little Venezuela, they're thrilled. And I just spoke to the president of Venezuela, informed her that we're going to be opening up all commercial airspace over Venezuela. American citizens will be very shortly able to go to Venezuela, and they'll be safe there. They'll be safe. It's under very strong control. And the people of formerly of Venezuela, some want to go back, and some want to go back to visit, and they're going to be able to do that. So I've instructed Sean Duffy and everybody else concerned, including the military, that if you would, by the end of today, I'd like you to have the airspace over Venezuela. Planes can go to Venezuela, opened up. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank all of the people in Venezuela for what they went through, and I want to thank the leadership for really they're doing a good job.
The one big beautiful bill that was passed on July 4th last year, we're starting to see the effects kick in. You mentioned the great economy. One of the things in the one big beautiful bill, Mr. President, it was an honor to host you, and as you said, the best rapper in the world, Nicki Minaj, at yesterday's Trump Accounts Summit. We've now had 1 million people sign up for Trump accounts just this week. We think there'll be 25 million families who are eligible. The segment that you and she did has 1 billion hits, 1 billion hits on the internet. So we're telling everyone, go fill out form 4547, trumpaccount.gov. So thanks to you, the Trump accounts, the next generation's America will benefit from today's record-breaking economy, record-breaking hits. Sir, when we came in, the Biden administration had destroyed the American people with the 3 I's: immigration, inflation, and interest rates. Immigration, check, you close the border. The inflation, as we've heard, back down to target. Prices are coming down. And interest rates, we hope there's more on the way. We've got gains in wages, low prices, and I think 2026 is going to be the year for the Trump boom. It's a supply side boom. I enjoyed the trip out to Iowa. In the diner, the staff there was thanking you for the no tax on tips, and they're expecting big refunds from that. We saw the CEO of John Deere who said, thanks to your tariffs, new plants in Indiana, Carolina.
Two massive plants being built.
All right, so that was just a couple clips from the cabinet meeting that happened today. Of course, that was the first cabinet meeting of 2026. I think that's about the 8th or 9th cabinet meeting since President Trump started his second term. Also, what we're hearing is that the White House also posted a video about the Trump accounts. Before we go to that, If you missed any of that cabinet meeting earlier, you can always replay and watch here on Right Side. Also, the Tom Homan press conference from Minnesota is also available for you to watch on all of our social platforms. Again, thank you for watching either live or replay or just letting people know about Right Side Broadcasting Network. In the meantime, let's go back to the White House where the president's team posted a video about the Trump accounts.
Under this administration, we're going to leave every child with real assets and a shot at financial freedom.
I am a mom to my beautiful 9-month-old daughter, Isla, and I am so excited about the Trump accounts creating an investment in the next generation and setting our kids up for their financial futures.
My child will be able to start off with $1,000 and we can build with that money so that when she turns 18, she can have something for college or whatever she would like to do with the money, invest in a home.
We're super excited about the Trump accounts. As a family with newborn twins, we couldn't be more grateful for all the support President Trump has given to rural families like ours.
Wall Street will no longer be an abstract concept. It will be brought down to Main Street.
With a family as large as ours, having that seed investment is one of the greatest things that could happen for a large family like us dealing with so many expenses.
It supports families. It helps children at an early age understand the concept of money. And because they can't take it out for 18 years, which I love, it lets the market do its thing. For 200 years, the American economy has driven growth successfully. It'll do it for individuals now, so when that child turns 18, they have a nest egg. This is fantastic.
I'm so grateful, and it almost feels like it's Grandpa Trump giving my kid $1,000 to save up to use in a very, very monumental way.
And that website is trumpaccounts.gov to check out all the information about the Trump accounts. Of course, yesterday was the Trump Account Summit. We had the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent speaking as the keynote yesterday. Of course, we heard from him as well today at that cabinet meeting, the first of 2026 there at the White House. In the meantime, a lot to get to here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We have at just any minute from now, the president will make that announcement from the Oval Office. And we're told that he will sign an order launching a new initiative to address drug addiction. So I understand that we may have an image or a graphic to show as well that drug overdose deaths have dropped by 23.3%. And that is thanks in part to Customs, Border Protection, and the United States military. And you think about it, on the southern border, really early on in the presidency, we saw that the military was on the border. They're building the wall, they're reinforcing the wall. And on top of that, you look at the Coast Guard, you look at the Navy in some of the open seas area when it comes to anybody trying to get in, bringing in narcotics to this country. So you see a percentage drop. Great to see that happening. Looking for more, right? We always are going to be looking for more when it comes to winning in this country. So that's a win right there. Let's get those. Let's get that percentage to continue to drop. So we do know that according to a report that Carolyn Levitt was talking about on X, that the White House fact sheet is all about the Great American Recovery Initiative. So that's happening here in just a few minutes at the Oval Office. Quite the busy day, by the way, for President Trump. He had an intelligence briefing at 10 a.m. He had an 11 a.m. Press conference of sorts, actually more of a cabinet meeting. Didn't take questions from the press after that. He may this time around, or he may tonight at the event at the Trump Kennedy Center, where he will be with the First Lady attending that screening of the film Melania there. So that's tonight at 7. But quite the busy day for the Commander-in-Chief as the sun is setting in Washington, D.C., and I'm pretty sure it's probably, 12 degrees there? Let me double check real quick on the weather. Let's see here. Now, I see the temperature in the south, about 50 degrees. In Washington, D.C., it feels like 16 degrees right now. 21 degrees is what it is in D.C., and a low of 8 tomorrow night. This is weather that you may see in Toronto or Calgary, but it's in D.C., of course. We know that this weekend there may be another winter kind of storm that happens along the East Coast as well. And for those of you that like sports, let me just real quick say this. All right, so the Tampa Bay Lightning are playing the Boston Bruins down in Tampa, and it's an outdoor game. I believe it's this coming Sunday. And I sent a graphic to my buddy who lives down in Florida. It might snow. There might be some flurries in Tampa, of all places, Tampa Bay, Florida. Kind of interesting. Hockey, outdoor, snow. I thought it was kind of cool. And then the Winter Olympics are around the corner. I put a poll out there the other day about that and said, who likes the summer games or the winter games? Or the other part of the poll was, I could care less. A lot of people said they like the winter games more than the summer, and then a lot of people said they can care less. But anyway. All right, so 5:08, Thursday, January 29th. Again, thank you so much for live streaming in here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. If you'd like to follow us, it's at RSBN on Truth Social, at RSB Network on X. Also, if you'd like to follow me, it's at Matthew US Media on X and at Matthew Alvarez on Truth Social. Been on Truth for about, 3 years now. Great to be a part of that group of people. A lot of you that are watching as well on Truth Social. So shout out to you guys. And again, a shout out to Joyce Simmons, who we interviewed at the top of the broadcast. If you missed this interview, I'm going to ask you. I don't ever ask. I don't think I ever say, please go watch the interview, but this time I am. At the end of this broadcast, of course, we're going to see the president here shortly. But if you have a minute, just scrub back or watch the recap of the broadcast at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 on the West Coast, and spoke with Joyce Simmons. She's 84. She lives in California. She is a supporter of God, family, country, freedom. And I simply, over the years, she always replies to whether it's a post that I make or a post from Right Side Broadcasting Network or just in general conservative posts. And they all are just so based on the right side of history. So it was great to bring her on here for a live interview. So it was just kind of thought it would be cool to hear from everyday America. I think that's really what we want to hear from all of us, right? And we know that the president and the RNC, remember the RNC in 2024 over the summertime, they had a lot of everyday Americans standing up there and talking about various policies and topics or things that they deal with or things that they want to see done in government. So it was great to see that. Speaking of the RNC, there is going to be a midterm national RNC convention. We have no idea where it's going to be. We have no idea what date or time, but we know that there's going to be a midterm national convention. Usually, of course, it's something you see during the presidential cycle. Well, this time it's going to be during the midterm year, which is, of course, 2026. So that coming up here sometime. I did read a report that Las Vegas is actually pushing for the midterm national convention. So we'll see if it goes to Nevada, the Silver State. All right, so on February 24th, so next month, which is how many days away now? Just a couple. We know that the president will deliver the State of the Union address right at that building right there. So we'll have that live here for you. And then in March, towards the end of the month, so we're looking at March 25th through the 28th, the CPAC conference will be happening in Dallas, Texas. No word yet if the president will be speaking at that. He usually does speak at CPAC. And speaking of events, yet to be officially announced, again, that special RNC midterm convention sometime this year. In April, President Trump, at least at last check, when he spoke about 3 weeks ago or so, that President Trump will be visiting China. Also in May, National Day of Prayer will be on May 7th. On June 14th, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So the UFC will be out there on the South Lawn of the White House on Flag Day. It's President Trump's birthday. That's going to be happening on the South Lawn, so that'll be something to watch. And of course, on July 4th of 2026, our country turns 250 years young. So a huge year for our country. November 3rd, just to round it out, the United States midterm election. And then at the end of the year, the AmFest conference in Phoenix, Arizona on December 17th. So that's just what is scheduled right now, all of the events. That's outside of any breaking news, of course, that happens. If it happens, we'll see. Let's also go to RFK Jr., the Secretary of the Health and Human Services Department there, speaking at President Trump's cabinet meeting earlier. Let's go to RFK Jr. right now.
We're also doing price transparency, which you asked during your first term. It never got implemented because the Biden administration never enforced it. We brought more enforcement actions against hospitals than in this 1 year, and the Biden administration brought in 4 years, and we're doing a crackdown so that every American, when you go to a restaurant, you look at the prices before you buy the meal. You ought to be able to do that when you go to a hospital, and by the time that we leave office, every American is going to have that guarantee.
All right, so if you want to see any of the cabinet meeting from earlier, of course, you can go to Rumble, YouTube, X, all over the place. You can check out our app, website, and just watch the cabinet meeting if you'd like. Also, in other news, we're looking at, of course, the Laken-Riley Act, obviously a U.S. federal law that mandates the detention without bond of non-citizens charged with certain crimes. As you see, 1 year ago today, President Trump signed the Laken-Riley Act into law. It was signed into law January 29, 2025, following the murder of Laken-Riley by an undocumented immigrant. And that's the thing that people that are brainwashed on the left say, well, we have to keep the criminal illegal aliens intact, keep them here. Why would you do that? We see what happened there with Laken. We see Jocelyn Nungary as well when it comes to murder and crime. So it's common sense, it's law and order, and it's something that's needed here in this country. If there's any more graphics or images, we can shift to that, as it's the Laken-Riley Act, named after, of course, the University of Georgia nursing student who was brutally murdered by a previously released illegal alien under the Biden administration. He should have never been here. Laken should be alive today. You think about all of the people that have come across that border over the years when it comes to under Joe Biden. I saw a video the other day of the caravans of people and walking across, walking through, either bodies of water or whatever down there along the border, and just en masse, just millions and millions and millions of illegal immigrants just walking into the country. And then you remember, how about when they all were flown all over the country? Again, listen, from human to human, I'm talking about another human right now. I get it. But you just can't bring in, just like, what if you and me, we said, oh, we're just going to go to Romania. We're going to go to Hungary. We're going to go to Poland. We're going to go to Nigeria, wherever we want to go. You have to still have some sort of paperwork or something. They usually just don't let you into a country, right? So it's the same thing with this country, but not under Joe Biden. We saw what happened there, and now we're just reversing. And when I say we, I'm not in government, but I voted for President Trump, just like many of you did. And I voted for law and order. I voted for mass deportation operations. Don't you have a heart, Matt? It's like, you think about it. When somebody is a criminal illegal alien, it's okay to say we want law and order. It's okay to say we want a mass deportation operation to happen. It's unfortunate to see things like Brandon Johnson, the mayor in Chicago, saying they want to abolish ICE. Abolish ICE, really. Federal agents who are following orders to deport people that are criminally charged with all sorts of awful crimes. Do we need to, we're speaking sense, aren't we here? Is this not common sense, right? So anyway, it's tough to see out there. I know that the temperature of the country right now has been really high, especially watching the images out of Minneapolis. But at the end of the day, we still need to cool off a bit because it's just this constant back and forth. What needs to happen, I believe, is the law and order needs to stay. People need to be deported. These are just simple facts of the 20 promises, the core promises from President Trump to we the people. And if you remember watching here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, I would repeat a lot of the core promises to the American people because they're based in common sense. Number one was to deport illegal immigrants. You know, there's a number of great policies that are there that we want to see fulfilled over the course of this administration. So we're watching, and we want to see. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, you know, we want to bring the country together. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, sure, it'd be great if we had everybody happy and everything's going good, but we know that there's this woke mob of not protesters, of rioters coming against the people of this country. Am I not speaking truth? This is a woke mob of rioters coming against the people of this country. This is not protests. All right, so that's my opinion, and that I think it's the opinion of a lot of people out there. So what needs to be done, right? So I think what we can do now is go back to Tom Homan. He spoke to the leaders there in Minnesota. There is going to be a drawdown if the jails in Minnesota work alongside the federal government and get out illegal immigrants that are in jail there and get handed over to the federal government. There will be a drawdown. Do I agree with that? That's not my job to say right now. But my point is this. Let's go to Tom Homan from earlier today. This is just a little bit of a clip of the border czar in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Well, first of all, about the organization and the funding of the attacks on ICE. I'm not going to answer a lot about that because I'm not going to show our hand, but they'll be held accountable. Justice is coming. Again, we got to all remember why the questions we've seen and why we're here. What started this? 4 years of an open border, where millions of people are in this country unvetted. Remember, let's not forget, for 4 years we were told the border's secure. 4 years we were told the border's secure, and we all knew it wasn't. And I want this to be a positive thing we're doing here today. I also want to remember the politicians are continually attacking us. Where were they the last 4 years when the number of women, children, sex trafficking went all-time high? Where were they when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border? Where were they when women and children are dying making that journey? Where were they where over 4,000 aliens making that journey died? Historic record. Where were they? Not a word. Now we're just trying to respond to what happened the last 4 years and keeping this country safe. And we're arresting a lot of public safety threats, take them off the streets, which make this country safer. President Trump promised to make this country safe again, and that's what we're doing. But my 2.5 days up here, we made a lot of progress. I think everybody agrees on the criminal and public safety threats. They agree it's much safer and easier to arrest an alien in a facility than send a whole team out in the field that's going to draw anger, because now we got to send a bunch of people to do something that could have been done by 1 or 2 people.
All right, so that was the border czar, Tom Homan, in Minneapolis this morning. That press conference about 7 Central. If you missed any of that press conference, you can watch it here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. On our social platforms, we uploaded that. So a quick shout out to the production crew here at Right Side, getting all the different video elements, the interviews, all the things. Can't do it without them. So thank you guys so much for all your assistance today and every day, 5:21 Eastern, Thursday, January 29th. Now, earlier today, of course, the cabinet meeting, we know that it wasn't one of those really long cabinet meetings like we've seen over the past year, as we saw President Trump joking a bit about the cabinet meeting length today. Now, what's not to joke about is there were no back and forth with the reporters after the cabinet meeting. We'll see if he'll talk to the press here at this event coming up. But let's go back to the president joking about how long these cabinet meetings can last.
So with that, we are going to ask a couple of people to say a few words. We're not going to go through the whole table because the last time we had a press conference, it lasted for 3 hours. And some people said he closed his eyes. Look, it got pretty boring. In all fairness, I love these people. I love these people. But there's a lot of people. It was a little bit at the boring side. But I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. Some of them, I didn't sleep, by the way. I don't sleep much, let me tell you. But you know, it's funny, some of them got me in a blink. You know, when you go like, you know, and they took me as at the closed segment of my cycle. And they said, he's sleeping. And besides that, Marco, between these two guys, if I was sleeping, they'd be waking me up very fast. They'd be knocking me, come on, you got to wake up, boss. But no, we've had great meetings. Look, we're the most transparent presidency by far, and I love going around the room, but we're going to pick a few people.
4 words: make comedy great again. I'm sure that clip will be aired all over the place, whether on social media or even the late night talk shows, which I don't watch, don't worry, and I know a lot of you don't either. I wouldn't waste my time, unless Johnny Carson was still around, you know. But anyway, that was actually really funny. Believe it or not, I didn't get to see that clip earlier, so it was good to genuinely laugh along with the president there, talking about sleeping in the meeting. Again, you know, this is not, you know, this is an outsider, you know, in the office. And, you know, you think about what President Trump has done since 2015, bringing us to where we are today. And yes, we want to see a number of other things happen: accountability, transparency, all the things. But what a great president President Trump has been for our country, and we're looking forward to him taking even more steps in greatness. Make America great again. America first, all the thing. Because the reason why I believe everybody got behind the liberty movement, the conservative movement, the Tea Party movement, the MAGA movement, all the movements, whether you call it a movement or not, whatever. It's simple, common sense stuff. It's a bunch of people in this great country that say we love what our founding fathers did. Now, the majority of the country I'm talking about. We love freedom. We love the Constitution. We don't want our country to turn into a nation where if you don't use the right pronoun, that happened in Ireland recently. Go ahead, look up the teacher, Enoch Burke. He just didn't use the right pronoun, and knock, knock. That's not going to happen in this country if we have anything to do with it. And we do have something to do with it. So it's called speak up, vote hard, pray hard. When I say vote hard, you know what I mean, just vote. Anyway, that's what I do this for. Yes, I love having a job, but I love working in this industry with you guys. This is something that we have to keep on keeping on. Get the job done. Looking forward to seeing President Trump here in just a minute as the sun is setting in Washington, D.C. All right. Specifically, again, according to a report that Carolyn Levitt posted on X from CBS, that the president is going to sign an order launching a new initiative to address drug addiction. So there's this White House Great American Recovery Initiative that the president will be speaking about. The question is, will the president take questions? He didn't before with the cabinet meeting. We'll see if he does this time. And then there's another opportunity tonight as at 7 o'clock, the president and the first lady will attend a screening of the film Melania at the Trump Kennedy Center. So that film is tomorrow nationwide for one day in theaters across the country. Those of you watching in Middle Tennessee, maybe the Nashville area or other countries or other states around the union that have dealt with the ice, I think the last thing you're thinking about is getting outside too much, because you're still defrosting, probably not even defrosting yet, not even thawing out. It's going to be a minute. But anyway, as it feels like 15 degrees there in Washington, D.C. right now. But anyway, back to my point. So tonight in some theaters across the country, the film Melania will be playing. And then tomorrow, it will be playing in theaters nationwide. So if you get a chance to see that, I'm sure it'll be on Amazon as well for you to rent at home, which it seems like a lot of people do these days, right? You watch it at home instead of go to the theaters, but anyway. All right, so again, let's go over a couple other items that I'm checking out here when it comes to this year. We're looking forward to knowing what the date is, the location, and the time for this special RNC midterm convention. So will this be like the RNC when it comes to, you know, a huge arena and the speakers and all the things? I would think it may be like that. So we'll see when we hear when that will happen. We'll bring that information to you here on Right Side. All right, thanks so much for streaming in. We'll see you later. No, I'm kidding. We are about to go to President Trump here in just a minute, as it's the bottom of the hour, 5:27. Originally scheduled for a 4:30, but without a teleprompter here, rocking it with you guys. So I'm glad you're here joining us live as we go to a couple sponsors as we await the president there. So let's go to mypillow.com/. Of course, Mike Lindell running for governor in Minnesota. I always say that now when I talk about MyPillow, because that would be a great thing for that state, wouldn't it? It would be a lot more fun to go to a Minnesota Wild NHL hockey game as Mike Lindell being the governor there than under Tim Walz any day of the week. Anyway, mypillow.com/RSBN. Save with the RSBN promo code. A ton of different products on there. More than 2,000 products on mypillow.com/RSBN. And let's go to donate as well. If you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, all you have to do is go to text RSBN to 801-801 and also Kalshi.com. Oh, well, all right, let's do that. Let's go. That's awesome. The director and I are just going back and forth here. All right, so Kalshi.com. You can go to the QR code there on your screen or go to Kalshi.com/RSBN, or you can download the app. If you're looking to bet, trade, or just check out some polls out there, it's pretty interesting stuff. There's a lot of different topics and polls that you can check out. Kalshi.com. As it's 5:28, Thursday, January 29th. If you get a chance, as we're waiting the book, The Woke Viruses by T.S. Dixon, you know, it really breaks down all about deep state and globalism and wokeism and liberalism and where that all stems from. People like, I'll just stop there. The woke mind viruses. Trust me, you'll like it. All right, let's go with the fact that it's approaching the 5:30 hour now. So that means, or the bottom of the hour, that means I think it's about time to go to the White House. So we're getting ready to go to the Oval Office here any second from now. Again, the president will sign an order launching a new initiative to address drug addiction. This is all about the White House Great American Recovery Initiative, which will advise federal agencies on directing grants to support addiction recovery and aim to increase awareness about drug addiction. So I'm hearing a standby in my ear right here any second from now. Thanks so much for sticking with us since 3:30. That's 2 hours straight. That's a lot of talking. I'm glad you stayed. And those that just joined us, you joined us right in time because President Trump about to take to the Resolute desk right there in the Oval Office, and we'll see if the president speaks with the reporters right after that. So as soon as we see that feed, we'll take you there. In the meantime, tonight, again at 7, let's go actually to the White House.
Thank you very much, everybody. Been a really busy day. Right? We had a good morning, and now we're having a good evening, and we're going to a premiere in a little while. But there's nothing more important than what we're doing right now, in my opinion. Today I'm signing a historic executive order to combat the scourge of addiction and substance abuse. Big deal in this country and probably in every country. We're calling it the Great American Recovery Initiative. I'm grateful to be joined by co-chairs of this sweeping new effort, Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Senior Advisor to the White House Great American Recovery Initiative, Catherine Burgum. Thank you both very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Where's Bobby? Bobby. Hello, Bobby. Come here, give me a hand. I love Bobby. You're doing a great job, Catherine. All right? Do we think so? Who's doing a better job, him or your husband? Maybe the husband. He's doing a good job.
I'm just getting started, sir.
They're both doing very well. Now you're going to do better than both of them. Thanks as well, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Secretary Doug Burgum, Secretary Scott Turner, Secretary Doug Collins, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who's got some pretty good news, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, FDA Commissioner Dr. Mona McCary, NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. Oh, I've gotten good at that. You are. Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's doing a fantastic job, and Director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, Sarah Carter. I also want to introduce a great friend of mine who happened to be here, and he's very much committed to this. He knows how important it is for our country. He's built a tremendous American company. It's called WeatherTech. I guess you've seen the ads. I've seen the ads. I think they're great ads, but more importantly, it's a great product. David McNeil. David, congratulations on what you've done. It's incredible.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Really great. And the president of WeatherTech, Ryan Granger. Ryan, congratulations. What a great job. They built an American company, and it's a thriving company, too, so with a great product.
It's great to be here in America.
You know, when I was in the private sector, I'd always buy the floor mats, but now that I'm president, I no longer have to buy floor mats. But you made a great floor mat, and you still do, and lots of other things. Many of those with me today have personally known the heartache of a loved one taken by drug or alcohol addiction. I do. Just like millions of American families, every year we lose an estimated 300,000 people to drug and alcohol abuse, and the real number is probably much, much higher than that. Thankfully, drug overdose deaths plummeted by 21% in the last year. We're working very hard on it. We've closed the southern border, seized over 47 million fentanyl pills and 10,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. That's a record, and I have formally designated Dr. And I'll tell you what, we have a group of doctors, some of them behind me, who have just been incredible, and they've really wanted this designated drug cartels as terrorist organizations. And for some reason, they didn't want to do that until we came along, but they are indeed foreign terrorist organizations. With our action in the Gulf of America, that sounds so nice when I hear the Gulf of America. Drugs entering our country by sea are down 97%. So when you see the boats being hit, those boats kill on average 25,000 people a boat. So that's 25,000, I would assume mostly American lives, but lives are being saved. Now we're taking a bold action to help Americans struggling with all forms of addiction so they can get the help and the support that they need to free themselves from the horrible burden of dependency. The Great American Recovery Initiative will bring together federal, state, local, and private sector resources to support addiction, recovery, treatment, and prevention. And it will help mobilize the forces and authority of the federal government to help stop this tremendous plague. And I'd now like to invite Secretary Kennedy to start, and then Catherine Burgum, and then I'll sign the order, which I've just signed. And wanted to make sure the signature was good, took my time. And we get, let me just see, pretty good, pretty good. Let's give it a 10, okay? For Catherine. But I'd like Bobby to say a few words, and Catherine, thank you very much, everybody. Please.
Mr. President, thank you for your leadership, for signing an executive order that tells the truth about one of the greatest challenges that our country faces. Addiction is not a moral failure, it is a disease. It's chronic, it's treatable, and for too long our nation has responded with fragmentation, with stigmatization, and silence instead of science, compassion, and coordination. Today, President Trump changes that. With the Great American Recovery Initiative, we finally bring the full strength of the federal government together across healthcare, law enforcement, housing, labor, faith communities, and the private sector to save lives, restore families, and rebuild communities that addiction has hollowed out. Nearly 50 million Americans suffer from substance use disorder. Many never receive treatment. Even more don't believe that help is possible. That is not because recovery doesn't work, it's because our systems have failed to reach the people where they are early enough, long enough, and with dignity. This initiative fixes that. We will align federal programs instead of letting them operate in silos. We will set clear, measurable goals and report honestly to the American people. We will use evidence-based care, modern science, and continuous support, just as we do for heart disease, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. We will focus on prevention before addiction takes hold. We will intervene early. We will expand access to treatment that leads to real long-term recovery. And we will support re-entry, because recovery does not end when treatment ends. It succeeds when people return to their families, their jobs, and their communities with purpose and with hope. As co-chair of this initiative alongside of Catherine Burgum, whose leadership and commitment strengthens this work, I pledge urgency, accountability, and honesty. Catherine and I share the experience of having been addicted and long-term recovery. Almost everybody in this room and almost everybody in our country has been touched by addiction. Steve Witkoff, who is here, had an extraordinary son, Andrew, who was a superstar boy, a straight A student, an athlete, and a wonderful leader, and lost that son to addiction. President Trump has talked about his own family's struggle with addiction. All of us are touched. If it touches these people, it can hurt every American. And President Trump has often talked about, with compassion, about the families who lose children to this disease. 100,000 children a year until recently. Now it's about 76,000. Those families are devastated forever. And the cost to our country, not only in dollars, but in just the malaise and the despair that it imposes, is incalculable. We are going to listen to states, localities, frontline providers, and tribal nations. We will partner with communities and faith-based organizations. We will work with employers, clinicians, and recovery leaders who know what works on the ground. President Trump has already acted decisively, securing the border against deadly drugs, signing the HALT Act, strengthening treatment programs, expanding access to naloxone, medication-assisted treatments, and investing billions in prevention and recovery. This executive order builds on that record and accelerates it. Recovery is not a side issue, it's an economic issue, a workforce issue, a family issue, a national security issue. When Americans recover, communities grow stronger. When families heal, children thrive. And when we confront addiction with courage instead of complacency, we reclaim the promise of our country. This initiative is about life, it's about responsibility, and it's about building a great American recovery together. With this executive order and with major announcements that I will announce next week, we are taking decisive action to make America again. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby, and great job. And you're doing a fantastic job. He's doing a fantastic job. And I saw his wife yesterday, and she confirmed that he's doing a fantastic job. So she's on your side. You know that. She's great. And Oz, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Catherine, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Your leadership today, relative to this announcement about the Great American Recovery, is a gift to all Americans who are suffering from the brain disease of addiction. I also want to thank First Lady Melania Trump for her leadership during your first administration, and now the work she's doing championing youth and children, especially related to foster care, where early trauma and instability are often consequences of the disease of addiction. Addictions touch this administration in real and profound ways. President Trump, you've openly spoke about your brother who struggled with addiction, shaped your life and your understanding of this disease. And Susie Wiles carries the lived experience of her father, the late, great Pat Summerall, whose recovery journey became a source of hope for millions. Vice President Vance has shared his story of his mother's battle and recovery. And as Secretary Kennedy just said, he brings his own lived experience, proof that recovery is not theoretical, it is possible. These stories matter because they are not isolated. They reflect the reality of the over 190 million Americans, that's half our nation, who are impacted in some way by the disease of addiction. And I am one of them. I started drinking in high school, and I was a blackout drinker from the start. For 20 years I struggled. relapsing constantly, constantly starting over, constantly trying to stay sober and failing. And I reached a point where I truly did not believe there was one single reason for me to keep living, and I was suicidal at the end of my drinking. One day I was out walking alone. I didn't have faith. I wasn't religious, but something in me said I should ask for help. And out loud to no one, because it was just me, I said, I don't know if anyone is there, but I need help. And that was the day I became sober. 15 years later, I found myself somehow standing in front of people as First Lady of North Dakota, thanks to him. But I was asking people to share their stories openly about addiction so we could eliminate the shame and stigma, so more people would reach out for help and more lives could be saved. And today I'm standing here in this incredibly beautiful Oval Office. And if not for the grace of God, I would not be alive today with over 23 years in recovery. That's why I'm here, and my message is simple: never give up hope for recovery. Mr. President, I also want to thank you for allowing me to stand here with you today. I was in this building in 2017 when the administration announced the national response to the opioid crisis. And nearly a decade later, the crisis remains, and in many ways it has grown worse. Not because we lack compassion, not because we lack effort, but because we never fully aligned our system with the truth. Addiction is not a moral failure. It is not a character flaw, and it's not simply a behavioral issue. Addiction is a lifelong, chronic, relapsing medical disease as real as diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. And when we fail to treat it as such, we don't treat the disease, and we pay mightily for the consequences. Emergency rooms, jails, foster care, overdose deaths, and broken families. The Great American Recovery changes that. This initiative represents a fundamental shift from reaction to prevent fragmentation to nation, from stigma to science, from short-term fixes to long-term recovery. And for the first time, we're aligning federal leadership across health, justice, labor, housing, veterans, social services, the faith office, and education around one single shared truth. When addiction is treated early and correctly, people recover and families heal. Addiction is a generational disease, and if we don't treat it properly, it repeats from parent to child, from community to community. And when we treat it like a lifelong condition, the condition that it is, we stop that cycle. We save lives, we restore families, we rebuild communities, we build dignity, purpose, and productivity. Mr. President, thank you for seeing this moment clearly. With your leadership and the Great American Recovery Initiative, we're establishing a new framework and a new national response to the disease of addiction, including treatment and care that parallels other chronic diseases. With this framework and treatment, recovery is not the exception, it is the expectation. Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell. You know, I saw them riding horses in a video, and they said, "Who is that?" I was talking about her, not him. And I explained it. I said, "I'm going to hire him because anybody has somebody like you to be with." It's an amazing tribute, and it's a great couple, amazing couple. And she's very much a part of his big success. He was a fantastic success, as you know, having been one of the most successful business people. I saw him campaigning, great governor, two-term governor. He's done a great job, and I'll tell you what, Catherine's a very big part of it. I see it. It's just really one of the fantastic couples. So I appreciate it. What a beautiful job you've just done. And I'm going to give this to you, and you can figure out what you're going to do with Bobby. You know. But let's have a good picture of the two of them and everyone else. And I'd like to ask Steve Whitcuff also to say a couple of words when we're finished, because he's a very special person who I knew very well, an incredible person. So if you don't mind, Steve, I'll ask you to do that in just a second, all right? Please, brother. Thank you very much.
Hey, how's it going?
Steve, please.
Yeah, thank you for.
The president is doing the same thing to me now that he did to me in 2017. Do you remember, Catherine?
Yeah, we were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to tell the story of this. So I came to the opioid
My goodness, it took him what?
conference. and
2
the president
hours
did not
later
know I was
to
coming
come
because I
online?
was invited by the first lady. And he leaned over, saw me in the aisle, and he looked at me and he said, Steve, and then he realized why I was
No,
there.
that's all right.
because
I
I'd
mean,
lost
yeah,
my
you
son
can if you
Andrew.
want to, but it's not a big
And the
deal.
president was an incredible
Not
friend
many people are gonna go back and watch it.
when I lost
But it's
him.
good to have.
I lived in his building.
You can if you
At
want.
502 Park Avenue. And I remember when him and the first lady came, and I talked about this all the
Well,
time.
it's gonna get a little warm.
And so he took my hand,
I think we're gonna get snow.
and he said to
I
me,
think.
come on up to the stage and tell the world about your boy Henry. And of course, that was,
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but we are.
you know, something that was really meaningful to me, but, and I got through it. And I talk about it all
My
the time. I
internet's
talk
not
about it
cool.
on the
Not
campaign
working.
trail and so forth. He is a very special man. And he's begun and led the fight against
work, look.
opioid addiction and alcoholism. And Catherine, I feel like we sort of bonded from that day. And
What is this?
it's just my blessing to work for you, sir.
He's a special guy. He and a group of people, Jared helped and others helped. Steve, peace in the Middle East, and we're there.
Yes.
A couple of little flames, but they're very little by comparison, and they'll go out quickly. They're already going out. And he's now trying very hard to settle up with Russia and Ukraine, and I think a lot of progress is being made there. And I told that Russia's not doing any shooting for a period of time during this horrendously cold.
Because of you.
What?
We asked
What?
President Putin if they could stop for a week. They're being hit with proportionately the kind of cold that we're being hit. It's much colder in Ukraine to start off with, but it's really cold now. And
I had a yogurt and
we appreciated
get a
that
banana.
very much.
And I'm watching
It's a
your show
nasty war.
because I
It's a
started
nasty,
my work
nasty
right
war.
now.
Would anybody else have anything to say? I can say that I am extremely late, but that's okay. Don't worry about me. Would anybody
Dog,
else have
he even
anything to
admitted he
say?
did.
Doug, you're doing a fantastic job. We appreciate
I
it.
started
Marty,
late.
you are really something special. Everyone's talking about you every time. If I don't mention Marty, Bobby always mentions it. So we have a great team. Jay, great. Marty,
We love you,
great.
Trump.
guys wanna
Do
say
the good job.
something?
God bless. Pray for our leader, president.
Historically,
Yeah,
with
amen,
addiction,
amen.
the entire society has always been reactionary. And that's been the story of healthcare. But at the FDA, we are looking into incredible cutting-edge therapeutics, and we are being proactive, giving them vouchers when we see something that's promising to get an approval as quick as weeks in an era of a 10 to 12-year approval time. And the ultimate therapeutic is community, houses of worship,
Anybody.
addressing loneliness. And so that's part of the MAHA agenda, thanks to Bobby's. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Rich. Thank you. Jay?
Mr. President, in 2018, you launched the HEAL initiative, helping to end addiction long-term at the NIH. It's paid fruit. It's yielded fruit. The ingenuity of small business has developed products that can deal with pain without it.
What happened?
The naloxone
Why?
saves lives.
What?
That was the fruit of NIH.
What?
And the kinds of investments that are your administration that you made starting from 20.
I'm not allowed.
From the first Trump term to now, will continue to pay
Here's
dividends. The kind of
drugs. Why?
that the NIH is doing is turn the tide, make people's lives so much better, restore families. All of the addiction that we've seen, 80,000 deaths we saw, the huge spike in addiction deaths, during the first Biden term is going to be a thing of the past.
Crying out loud.
I'm so proud
Can't
of
get
you.
in.
And fellas, some great things happening, right?
Yeah.
Marty, there's great, really great things happening, I hear. And some pretty big announcements over a short period of time, right?
Yep. Moving drugs over the counter, need a prescription.
You're right.
Naloxone, which treats opioid, is one of those drugs. And we're being proactive with synthetic 7-OH, a new opioid that's showing up. And we're working with the DOJ on addressing that because chemists are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. Now I hear fantastic things. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, please. Thank you.
So the meeting finished just a half hour and you waited 2 hours? What the heck?
Oh, right. So the White House creating
Wow.
the Great American
Raina.
Recovery Initiative
you
today
2
in the
hours?
Oval Office. A beautiful look at the U.S. Capitol.
I actually want to show something that they did show earlier on here.
What? Okay.
Let's see. Share, replace.
I don't want to show my badge when I'm at work, so I want to keep it confidential. All right. Ah!
Schwarzenegger, while also spinning. Only Fanatics Casino has fan cash spins, a game that lets.
Joining us now on Right Side Broadcasting Network is Joyce Simmons, a great Christian patriot, an everyday American who loves God and country. Thanks so much, Joyce, for joining us here on Right Side.
You're most welcome, Nathan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I saw you on Truth Social, and you always post something that's just so based.
Who's this old
it's
lady?
So good. It's just encouraging as well. So I thought, you know what? Why not
Just listen to her story. Beautiful.
Oh, okay.
bring on people that are just like you and me, everyday America. And we interview a lot of people across the country that are in different industries and all of that. But can you talk to us about your thoughts about God? Someone like you is on Truth Social. Why do you do what you do every day?
Well, Matthew, been a long stretch for me. I'm 84. It headed to 85 years old. And family and faith and our country have been my very life. And probably because what I feel in my heart is that we need, as a country, to reflect our values, and we're not doing that anymore. America has lost her compass, is really what I feel. I want to be as authentic to my family, to friends, to social. I'm not a big social media person, but for whatever I'm out there, I want to be who I am, and I want to reflect what God has done in my life.
And he's done a lot, because you say you're not a social media person, but I see your account on Truth Social, isn't it? It's at Rejoicing1, correct?
Yes.
So at Rejoicing1. So if those of you that are watching live or maybe on replay, if you go on Truth Social, give Rejoicing1, Joyce Simmons, a follow, because she replies to a lot of the material and content that I've posted over the past 3 years on Truth Social. And all of it, again, is very encouraging in faith, in country, in freedom. So can you talk to us about your upbringing? Tell us about your life a little bit, and again, why the focus is so much into what the country really is about. It is about God, family, country.
That's a loaded question. I was, I was born in 1941. I was a World War II baby. And came from a typical American family. Mom, dad, mom stayed home and was the homemaker, and dad owned a business. And our particular family has always been grounded in the Word of God and in a biblical
Most people, they always have a piano.
We grew up knowing value, loved our country. Actually, I'm a sixth generation.
She's just too adorable.
All the way back to the Declaration of Independence. My sixth great grandfather was Abraham Clark. And
That was your grandfather?
we valued family. We had fun. We camped. America in the 40s was we haven't come a long way, but family was most important to us, and our faith was integrated into that, and the and our society.
Yeah.
You know, President Trump just the other day posted a video of New York City from decades ago, and he says time has changed. And to your point, we see that. So when you see what's been going on in your state of California, then you go a bit east to Minnesota and just all of the things, you see a lot of people that maybe have gone, well, they definitely have gone woke, right? They were brainwashed. They're doing things that are just anti the basics, common sense. Or am I wrong? Do you agree?
Oh, it's heartbreaking, literally heartbreaking to watch the degradation of our land. And of course, being in California, it's we're one of the most liberal states in the union, but it is it's tragic to see what has happened, how values you get into this transgender world. You just break away from everything that has been meaningful in a family life. Families no longer you can't go on. I was just thinking the other day, in comparison of what it was like when I was a child. It was nothing for us children to go out and play and know that we had to be in by dark. No parents. We couldn't do that with children anymore. Here especially California, we're not safe. We're not. Things have just really changed. And no, Trump is right. It's not like it was.
Yeah, nice hat. Thank
That's
you.
for sure.
So,
Cold
and last
outside,
question,
nice
if you're
in
just
here.
joining us right now, this is Joyce Simmons, an everyday
Yes.
American out there in California.
No.
You can follow her on True Social at
it's not as bad.
Rejoicing1.
No.
What would you say is what is needed to preserve the union, to save the country moving forward? I mean, we have President Trump right now, but 2029 is slowly getting here too. So
You want me to move so you
would
can
say
clean up
to
around my
America
desk?
right
My
now?
desk is. Oh, here. You want to
I'd
go ahead?
back to 2nd
All right.
Chronicles
Let me move out of the way.
7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves
Go ahead.
and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will heal their land.
You got a lot of stuff over here.
I got a
Matthew,
lot of stuff.
my heart is broken,
Almonds. I love
literally
almonds,
broken,
fruits,
to
coffee.
see
Coffee,
even the
chocolate.
church turning it illiberal.
Yeah. And you know what? It's for everyone. It's not just for me.
The walls of the city of Jerusalem, an iconic part, also speaks prophetically to its future. Thousands of years ago,
To where we need truth again. We're a nation of lies. Even in some of our politics, we just have non-truth. We need to get back to the principles that our nation was founded on. And
Especially old people.
look at the foundation. Moses.
Oh, thank you.
Our
You don't want
U.S.
some?
capital.
All right. Okay.
Anymore, the things that we should be looking toward and revering, we're tearing down.
Oh, don't say
And
that. I heard
we
more
need
snow
to
coming.
get back. We need to get back to a nation that honors God and
please,
that
God,
lives
no more
that
snow.
out, and to follow the laws. If we honor God, we're going to follow the laws. And so it all is intertwined. It's all intertwined. But that's, I say, go back to and we shall know the truth. We need truth. That's why I love RSBN. You are truth. You are truth. We don't have very many that tell the truth anymore.
Exactly.
And we need truthfulness in our country. And if we seek God and we humble
Can you be my
ourselves,
grandmother?
and we, in
It's not the
society,
truth,
we're
lady.
all different. Everybody's different. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to be thinking just like I do. We're all unique in that respect. But definitely, we need to get back to our. We need to pick up our moral compass and start all over again. And I think Trump's doing that. I think he's trying desperately, anyway.
Amen. And what you were saying earlier about the knowing the truth and the back half of that scripture, the truth will set you free. And that's what it's about. Freedom in this
Exactly.
country
You know,
and
the
freedom
truth,
for the
the truth
future
sets
of
you
our
free.
family. Joyce Simmons from California. I knew putting you on the broadcast live would be a great idea because you are on point. You have wisdom and experience and a love, an absolute love for God, family, country, truth, justice, the American way. And again, follow Joyce Simmons at Rejoicing One on Truth Social. Joyce, you're a rock star. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matthew. Have a good day.
You too.
Very sweet lady.
Joining us.
Yes, she is. I pray she was my grandma.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful.
Well, you have your friend Jan. She's like
Back in her,
your mom.
yeah, she is. God bless her. But children back in her time, absolutely, they got to go outside, throw a stick at each other, get bruises, that's what toughened them up. But you knew exactly when to be home, and they always kept God in their homes and just the land itself. Now they got too many woke people.
Yeah. Always keep God in your life because once you put God outside the box, outside your life, you're in trouble.
Crumbles. Everything crumbles.
Exactly.
God is literally the glue to a strong. Oh. But yes.
What happened? Finished?
Huh?
You finished?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, all right. All right.
All right.
All right, Rena, you have a good day then. Thank you. Thanks for hosting the show, and I'll see you. Talk to you later.
Okay, well, I deeply pray you'll stay warm and safe tonight.
Well, I'm inside, so I'm good. I'm good.
But
Adios.
adios. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe, comment, and share my content so we can get more amazing people to discover my channel. And if you want to help with supporting me, you can with the QR on here. But if you're not comfortable doing it that way, you can go to my bio on my YouTube channel and do it that way. And keep Trump in your prayers. Keep everybody in your prayers, even your enemies. I know that's easier said than done because sometimes we just don't want to, but the good Lord wants us to, so we need to. But thank you for coming into my box. You're always welcome, always. And I do pray you guys will stay safe and warm tonight as well, and know that you're loved, wanted, valued. You are literally a masterpiece created by our Creator. I mean, He thought of you before you even existed. But I do pray that God will reveal all the evilness, and He is, and it will come straight forward. So people will actually open up their eyes and truly see the evilness for what it is. And I deeply pray, because me and my friend, her name starts with the J, me and her, she would always be like, and I pray that God will put the right people into the right, what they are aligned with Him in the right, areas in life to make America great again. I was like, amen to that. But Trump is definitely doing an amazing job, but keep him in his prayers. Keep him in your prayers, not his prayers. Oh my goodness. Sorry, God. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will see you on the next live stream. And I can't wait till the summer gets here, because I will be going back to the garden and the pool and just all kinds of stuff. So tune in for that once warm weather gets here. Other than that, put your suggestions down too on any of the videos that you would like for this channel. I did have somebody message me earlier saying that they absolutely love, and he's actually new to my channel, but he absolutely loves the type of posts that I am posting when it comes to those quizzes with the animals. So I am very thankful that you guys are actually liking those. He says it's something to learn, it's educational. So tune in for more of those to come and Bible verses. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next stream. God bless every one of you.